Aloha everyone and welcome to Self-Care Sunday with Hiram. You heard it here folks, we're doing something different. Welcome to Self-Care Sunday where both you and I can sit down and do our full beauty regimen, treat ourselves, maybe do a face mask, and just take time to relax on our Sunday while I deep dive about a topic that I am very passionate about and maybe rant a little bit, just wait. I'm really excited to start this new series because I was thinking the other day and I realized that I can't even remember the last time that I just sat down and did like a full relaxing skincare regimen just for fun. Like I literally can't remember the last time because I'm always like boom, 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 get ready in the morning, test these new products, review these products. It's just gotten a little hectic and taken away from the joy of what skincare should be, and I really want to experience it with you guys. So get your skincare products out, your face tools, your face mask, lip products, all of it, and let's do Self-Care Sunday together. Per usual, all the products that I'm going to be using will be linked in the description box below if you do want to check them out and support the channel by doing some shopping. And let's get into it. So apologies if today I'm a little bit slow. Well, slower than usual, and I sound a little bit stuffy. I have been sore sick this whole week, wiped out in bed, and so has literally everyone else I know in my life. Everybody's sick. Everybody's sick. I'm working with less brain cells than usual. So I want to chat with you guys about a phenomenon that I've been seeing on the internet that started quite a while ago, but I've really seen ramp up and become normalized over time. And I know y'all have seen it too. Now, we're all familiar with good old internet culture and finding out every day which celebrity or public figure is problematic versus not problematic, who's canceled, who's uncanceled. Like, it's this crazy roller coaster ride that I feel like we're all on, and you never really know what's going to happen next or who is next on the X list. But obviously with the popularity of cancel culture, the terms problematic and unproblematic have really soared as we social media users and just general consumers try to navigate this weird online space of trying to figure out who's authentic and who's not. But there has been this, what would you call it? Not a trend. If I say meme, does that make me an old millennial? There's this meme where people will choose basically at random, and typically a woman celebrity, have some absolutely gorgeous images of them along with the caption, "This is how you age when you're unproblematic." Or vice versa, a different public figure with absolutely horrendous photos. "This is how you age when you're racist, sexist, homophobic, etc., etc., etc." And this whole phenomenon has really gotten the old gears turning in this noggin about what type of message and cultural influence these types of posts are creating. So I already cleansed my face. I used the Selfless by Hiram Centella and Green Tea Cleanser. Great gentle cleanse, especially for the morning time like it is right now. And I'll think I'm going to go in with a face mask. It has been so long since I've done a face mask for fun, and this one is the Some by Me Propolis B5 Glow Barrier Calming Mask. Because I've been sick, my skin has been going through it, so I definitely need some hydration, some moisture, and that calming benefit. And hopefully this mask will, improve my immune system or something. Anything to help me not be sick. So the interesting thing with this meme is that I actually first saw it, I would say, I don't know, maybe about 2 years ago with none other than America's sweetheart, Anne Hathaway. I absolutely adore Anne Hathaway. I mean, who doesn't? Like, she's freaking incredible. I literally watched her new movie last night. The one that's like based off of Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde or whatever. I don't know, the rom-com. She's amazing and absolutely no one can deny that she is gorgeous. And I remember seeing a flood of tweets and TikToks of people basically saying, "Look at how amazing she looks. This is how you age when you're unproblematic." Of course, referring to Anne Hathaway not having been in any public scandals or controversies that at least we're aware of that would insinuate she's racist, homophobic, or any of the other negative aspects that we so often find out about our favorite celebrities. As far as a public record goes, she has a pretty clean slate. And even I remember seeing that and being like, period. Anne Hathaway is amazing. I have no reason to dislike her. I've always been a fan. And in the pictures people were posting at the time, Anne just looked extra ethereal. I mean, if we're going to be honest, she basically looked the same as when she filmed Princess Diaries when she was a teenager. Like, she looked incredible. And I saw that post and I chuckled and thought it was creative and moved on. But then I started seeing it happen more and more and more with so many different women celebrities. And it started off with, celebrities that were, say, in their 40s, 50s, 60s. But then I started noticing the trend going down to celebrities in their 30s, even celebrities in their late 20s. And the more and more I started to see these posts, the more I was like, okay, wait a second. Let's just reverse real quick. What type of impact are these posts having? And what does it really say about our cultural values and what we hold as important? Not only when it comes to public figures, but even in the way that we view each each other. So this first, of course, started in 2018 with the Steve Carell post, which is really ironic considering this trend started around a man when I almost exclusively only see this sentiment being made about women, specifically more mature women. But when it really took off was when I first discovered it with Anne Hathaway pictures. And you know what's funny? This whole sentiment makes me think of this Roald Dahl quote that I remember reading way back when I was in elementary school. I believe it's from his book, The Witches. But he says, if a person has ugly thoughts, it begins to show on their face. And when that person has ugly thoughts every day, every week, every year, the face gets uglier and uglier until you can hardly bear to look at it. A person who has good thoughts cannot ever be ugly. Which I understand the message that Roald Dahl was trying to send, specifically to younger people, but his quote very much mirrors the same unintended consequences that come about because of this trend. And I want to talk about the 5 main problems I find with this whole meme. So strap in because I have a lot to say. Number 1, equating beauty with morality. Now you're probably looking at this and thinking what I thought the first time I saw it too, if anyone said that they had an issue with it, where I'm just kind of like, okay, calm down. It's a joke. Obviously, just because someone is beautiful does not mean that they haven't done terrible things in their life and vice versa. Like clearly, who would subscribe to that? Like I think that's all something we cognitively know, but I just want to take a step back and consider taking the perspective of a child or hell, even a teenager. If I was a kid who was constantly scrolling on TikTok, always looking through Twitter or X, I'm never going to call it X, Twitter, and seeing posts like this, do you think I have the lifelong understanding and cultural experiences to be able to understand that essentially what these posts are saying is not true, that it's kind of a joke and not really meant to be taken seriously? Don't think so. I think we already live in such an image and appearance focused time that messages like this kind of murk the waters of really understanding how to look at people through a more objective lens that doesn't consider physical attractiveness and beauty as an indicator of someone's morality. And sure, if this were in a vacuum and this were the only type of post that we were seeing that would indicate that someone is worth more because of their appearance, then yeah, I think we'd have a different argument. But we already live in a world that heavily prioritizes our physical appearance. So much of social media, marketing, traditional advertising, entertainment, all heavily emphasizes and rewards anyone who, has really won the genetic lottery, which, is so a problem that I wish I had. Clearly, the fact that I'm talking about this and making this video means that I am very bitter that I don't possess the physical attractive qualities that Anne Hathaway has. But misery loves company, so here we all are. I personally get concerned for the younger generations who consume this type of content and don't yet have the life experience to be able to understand if these type of posts are actually being serious or if they're not. Because I'm telling you, if I was a kid and I ran into these posts, I would definitely think, oh, if someone is really beautiful, that means they're a genuinely good person who has not done terrible things. And even worse than that, it would definitely have the secondary consequence of looking at people who, maybe didn't age very well. People who have lots of fine lines and aging, crepey skin, droopy skin, all of the works. And thinking, ooh, what did they do? Why should they be canceled? Like this type of messaging is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from adopting that type of mentality, which I feel like would be super easy for young people. And I don't know about you, but I just don't think that older people who have aged naturally, where, life may have really beaten them up or they don't really have good genetics, I don't think they deserve to be looked at in an accusatory way or even a suspicious way of people wondering, what did you do? I know you're a terrible person and you did something cancelable. What is it? It just automatically creates this precedent of distrust and unfair treatment of a lot of people in older generations. And this is coming from someone who is not necessarily a fan of a lot of boomers. A lot of them don't necessarily have the greatest track record, but I don't think they deserve to be viewed from that lens solely because of the way that they've aged. You feel me? So that's concern number 1. Okay, I need to speed up my skincare application process because that face mask literally took like 15 minutes to put on. Sorry, y'all, I'm new to this. Oh, goodness. I'm going to be going in with the Indeed Labs under eye patches, which it has been a long time since I've done an under eye patch just, on my own for fun while I let the rest of my face dry. I believe these are good for like fine lines and, under eye aging, ironically. Okay, so my second issue with posts like this, and specifically, the caption, is that it really ignores our critical understanding of how we view a person. I mean, here's the thing. We as people already struggle enough to not make automatic assumptions or make rush beliefs about an individual based off of their physical appearance. I mean, pretty privilege has literally been a thing since the beginning of time because we're wired from the day we're born to be attracted to people with certain characteristics that are reflective of whatever cultural beauty standards we have at the time. And you combine that with our primal instincts to pursue whatever we're attracted to, and you just, it's understandable why we're drawn to people that we perceive to be beautiful. But the whole pretty privilege concept in and of itself is a bit of a paradox. Research shows that attractive people earn 5% more than their counterparts for doing the same job, while at the same time, people who are deemed less attractive or, ugly can earn up to 9% less. And this obviously isn't isolated to the workspace, but inversely, pretty privilege can also lead to a lack of empathy from others, increased negative treatment, and then because of this whole fucked up world we live in with a never-ending beauty standards, pretty privilege can come with a lot of negative mental health consequences. So we as a society and just as human beings in general already struggle enough with trying to separate someone's morality from their physical features. And posts like this that even jokingly equate morality with beauty only pushes us away from the very real need to view people through a more complicated lens of understanding that physical attractiveness, beauty, what have you be, does not mean that someone is inherently good or inherently bad. I am the first to say I love Anne Hathaway so much. I love the roles that she's in. She seems like a very down-to-earth person, but truthfully, I don't know who she is as a person. I don't know what she does behind the scenes. She could very easily be a terrible person to be around, and I would have no idea. And posts like this are not helping us at all. Like, you may think I'm reading into this too deeply, but let me tell you, as someone who is an avid social media user and seeing the way that we have kind of culturally developed to slowly more and more prefer physical beauty over anything else, I definitely think that comments like this may not be the fire itself, but are certainly fanning the flame of the problem that we have of solely viewing people through the lens of physical attractiveness or not. Hot or not, that's that. Okay, I'm gonna go rinse this off and continue with the rest of my routine. Wow, my skin actually feels pretty good. It feels very soft and moisturized. I don't know if it helped a lot with the redness and like the calming down, but it feels good. That was a very lovely mask experience. I don't know. I just feel like as a culture, we've come so far in being able to better understand why we do what we do. Even this entire cancel culture movement, with all its negatives, at least has the positive of helping us understand that we can't judge a book by this cover. So it's kind of ironic to see this trend taking off that almost does the opposite of that. I don't know, it's this weird double standard paradox that just logically makes no sense. And it's gone on long enough that I'm like, okay, this isn't a joke anymore. Like, people actually believe this. Mom, I'm scared. Come pick me up. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with the Selfless by Hiram Peptide Q10 and Ginger Serum to help protect my skin throughout the day, because I still have a lot to do today after this. I wish it was a total relaxing Sunday, but it's not. The third issue I have with a trend like this, and this is something I've talked about a lot on my channel, is that it associates aging with negativity. And even worse, it further sours our cultural fear of aging. Now, you only have to be on beauty TikTok for like 0.5 seconds to get the message that aging is bad. You should fear it. The way people fear aging is like on the same line as people who fear murderers, which is just so funny to me because I'm like, y'all realize y'all are gonna age, right? If you can understand anything I'm saying in this video, guess what? You're aging, and there's nothing you can do about it, bitch. And really at the core of this trend is seeing how celebrities have defied aging. Of course, by associating that with their actions, but really associating aging with being problematic is just a short step away from viewing any type of aging as being a problem. And in doing research for this video, I was really interested in like where this fear came from. Why the hell do we fear aging so much, and when did this begin? I mean, obviously, aging does mean that we're getting closer to death. Most people have a fear of dying and everything coming to an end. Not me. I embrace it. So of course that makes sense, but the type of aging that people are so afraid of online is not 80 years old, 90 years old, the ages where you are realistically getting close to dying. No, people see a single wrinkle on a 30-year-old's face and start to panic. Where does that come from? So here's the thing. We didn't used to fear aging, right? Throughout pretty much all of history, aging has always been seen as like a blessing, a gift. Mortality rates in the past have always leaned very young compared to the ages that we're able to live to now. And really, when you consider the technological advances that have happened that have allowed us to lead longer lives, death and aging really shouldn't be as big of a driver of the fear that we have of aging as it is. So when did it start? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage capitalism and consumerism. Yes, you guessed it. Just like the majority of problems that we face in the modern world, capitalism and consumerism are largely to blame. So considering we're talking about capitalism, let's bring this back to physical objects, things that we can own. Throughout all of history, older items have always been prized and valued far more than newer items. If you had a home, heirlooms, clothing, jewelry that's old, it's going to be a lot more valuable than anything that was just barely made. But then around 1913, there's this guy named Henry Ford who has the biggest ego ever, comes onto the scene and says, let's start industrialization. Instead of hand-making things and only purchasing things as we need them, let's get saucy with it. And from the beginning of the industrialization movement, products started to be rapidly made at a faster pace than any of us could purchase. So give that a few decades and a few $1 billion in marketing, and we're all of a sudden being told that newer is better, newer is more exciting. The new is in, the old is out. And fast forward to now, in the era of hyper-consumerism and late-stage capitalism, the cultural appreciation for older things is almost completely lost. And here in the grand old USA, America, where we're basically force-fed consumerism from the day we exit the womb, we have now completely adopted a consumeristic lens of ourselves and others. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with an eye serum because my dark circles have really been struggling and I have not been consistent with using an under eye brightening product at all. I love the Peter Thomas Roth Potency Eye Cream, but I kind of wanted to see if I could try the serum and get more bang for my buck, so I'm going to be using this on my under eye area instead. Now you might be thinking, Hiram, I can understand that we live in a consumerist society, but I think it's a stretch that you say, I view myself and others through a lens of consumerism. I know you're probably rolling your eyes, but think about so many aspects of our culture. We as young people are constantly talking about entering our new eras, rebranding ourselves, redefining ourselves. And how do we do that? We buy new clothes, create an entirely new wardrobe. We redecorate our room or our house because we're bored with the old style. We're constantly subscribing to new trends that we see on social media. And guess what? The majority of those trends focus around products that we have to buy in order to be a part of that new trend. So it's really not hard to see that we as people are almost entirely consumed by this idea that anything new is better, exciting, cool, while anything old is boring, bland. And I think this very much applies to the way that we see aging, so much to the point that even though it logically makes sense that we would appreciate aging, we're terrified of it because it doesn't fit in the very narrow scope of the way that we view ourselves through capitalism. So anytime we see physical manifestations of aging like fine lines, saggy skin, droopiness, etc., it automatically confirms those deep-set fears that have been force-fed to us since we were kids. And consequently, makes it a really fucking difficult world for older people to feel beautiful and appreciated in. Okay, I'm going to be going in with my first moisturizer. It's the iUnique Centella Calming Gel Cream. I love this one for when it's super hot and humid out, which right now it is in Hawaii. So I'm going to use this all over my face. Oh my gosh, another problem I have with this trend, which I touched on before, but we need to talk about, is just the blatant sexism of this trend. When it comes to conflating morality with being unproblematic, it is almost exclusively done towards women who are under a cultural microscope of people looking for something that they can cling to criticize. And specifically, women who aren't even in their late years. Like Anne Hathaway, she's what, 40? That is not old people. People typically lead lives all the way up to like 85, 90, 95 years old. She is like less than half of what her life age will be, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Anne Hathaway, we want you here for a long time. And don't even get me started on what we consider to be older, because I swear it's just getting younger and younger and younger. The amount of posts that I see of people who are like, oh my gosh, she looks so good for her age, and she's 25 years old. Ugh, it's just absurd. And when I was reading forums about this, I saw so many people that are like, well, no, I see this about men too. I've seen a lot of these posts about guys. And babe, that's not a good sign. Women are already the first punching bag when it comes to any type of criticism about age. Why would we make it so popular that it also would apply to men too? Cringe. Get a grip. We younger people seriously need a reality check and just a good old slap in the face, because What? Oh, we've got issues. Okay, next for my dry cheeks, I'm going to be going in with the Selfless Niacinamide and Maracuja moisturizer, which is still a lightweight gel moisturizer, but just provides a lot more depth of moisture that for, hot and humid days like today, I don't want all over my face. Another issue with this trend. These celebrities that we're putting on a pedestal for aging so gracefully have access to privileges that the majority of us cannot afford. I mean, sure, there's the obvious ones that relate to, skincare. If you've watched literally any of my celebrity skincare reaction videos, you already know super expensive skincare products, but also very expensive facials. A lot of these celebrities are going in for facials like weekly or bi-weekly. Of course, we don't even need to mention plastic surgery, but that's not it. Consider that these people really have not had to do any form of hard labor or spend an extended amount of time outside for their job, which, increases things like aging. They don't have to deal with the same financial stressors that the majority of people have to deal with, which stress is like one of the top 3 most damaging things to the skin. They have mentors and different people who can help them with tricks to avoid premature aging, whether that's fancy facial massages, tools at home. Oh my gosh, lighting! I feel like nobody talks about the importance of lighting. Every single one of these posts I've seen features celebrities on a red carpet. And let me tell you something. Okay, and next I'm going in with the Bliss Blockstar SPF sunscreen because it is still midday. Gotta protect my skin, of course. I remember the first time I did a red carpet, I was not looking my best. My dark circles were very apparent. Skin, was not amazing at the time, and I was so worried about how the pictures were going to turn out. And then once I saw my images, I was like, damn, I look good. Everything looked so clear, no dark circles whatsoever. My jawline looks snatched. Literally, the lighting on the red carpet is designed to make you look like flawless. And I feel like people don't realize that and think that these people that are aging so gracefully that they see just naturally look like that on the day-to-day, and they don't. And then finally, most importantly, the fact that the majority of these people have won the genetic lottery to have physical characteristics that automatically make them in line with today's beauty standards. And it's probably a good size factor as to why they even became famous in the first place. Not everyone, of course, but I mean, come on, you look at Anne Hathaway, she's absolutely stunning. It's foolish to think that that alone would not have a huge impact on the success of her career in the very unfortunate world we live in where everything is about physical beauty. So considering all these things, these people that we're praising for beating aging already have a huge leg up of looking conventionally more attractive than the majority of people in the world. So no, it's not just being unproblematic. There's a lot that goes into it. And obviously not shaming any of them for that at all. Like, work. If you got the resources, go for it. That's great. But we have to look at it realistically, guys. It's not as simple as people are conflating it to be. And then finally, I'm going to go in with the Chill Lab Lavender Matte Powder. Sorry, it looks so gross. I spilled my coffee on it. Have not wiped it off yet. I have to film a few videos after this, so I want to make sure that my skin is not getting greasy. And then my final issue with this trend is that people are not thinking of the secondhand impact of commenting on someone's appearance. And this is something I even struggle with, so I'll explain. Whenever you make a negative remark or even a positive remark about someone's appearance, that inevitably will hurt other people. Now, this is obviously true if you're insulting someone's appearance, right? And I get it, some people do truly deserve to be insulted, but when you insult someone's physical appearance, it automatically makes anyone else who looks like them feel shitty about themselves. I don't know, if you wanted to insult even, say, Donald Trump for how many wrinkles he has, or I don't know, his balding hair, I don't know, whatever people pick on. There are so many other people who can see those comments who may be balding or may have wrinkles on their skin who are thinking to themselves, I have that. So does that make me ugly too? Does that make me deserving of these insults as well? Which is why I'm a firm believer that if you're going to insult someone, never insult their physical appearance. But this same problem can apply to praising someone for their physical appearance as well. I struggle with this because I love giving people compliments, and when I think someone is like genuinely beautiful, I do want to comment on it, but I do have to hold myself back. Because even if you're talking about Anne Hathaway and saying, oh my gosh, her skin is stunning, she doesn't have a wrinkle on her face, but she's 40, that's incredible. How do you think that makes people who are in their 40s feel about the wrinkles that they have on their skin? When you're making positive comments about someone's physical appearance, think about the potential potential it has to drag someone down. And if it does have that potential, consider keeping that to yourself or complimenting something else about the person. Now, like I said before, I'm really bad at this because if I see someone who has, say, gorgeous, glowing, stunning skin, I automatically want to say that. But what I've started to practice doing is a compliment sandwich where, yes, I can say, oh my gosh, your skin looks gorgeous, glowing. But I try to combine it with a positive compliment about the person themselves, their personality, the way they treat others, their kindness. Something that isn't fully focused on their looks alone so that I can reprogram my brain to think deeper, think outside of this limited box that we've been put into of only focusing on the way that someone looks and instead also focusing on the things that truly matter, who they are as a person, their character, their morality. And I think if we work to do this, we can slowly over time start to have that paradigm shift that is necessary to get out of this mindset that physical appearance is everything. Okay, lastly, I'm going to go in with this random lip product that I found in my stash that I have never used. It's the Beauty Bay Hydrating Lip SOS Mask. I don't know how long this has been sitting around. So I don't know. Those are just my thoughts when it comes to seeing this trend really start to get more and more traction online. At the end of the day, I understand the good intent of where this is coming from. I understand that we want to compliment people that we find beautiful. I understand that we want to show our appreciation for people who have not done terrible things publicly, people who seem like genuinely good people, but I think we should do it in a different way that doesn't carry all of this baggage and negative messaging that really has the potential to harm the way that we view ourselves and other people. Because remember, even if you think this is only affecting other people and this is just about the celebrities and not you, I'm sorry, but you're going to adopt this mindset yourself, and this is how you're going to start perceiving yourself, and it's going to have negative mental health repercussions. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think I went too deep? Do you think I took it too far? Do you disagree with anything that I've said? I'm genuinely curious to know because I think I'm at a point where I can very confidently say that this trend is no good. We don't need it and we're better than this, but I want to see if you agree. That's the end of my self-care Sunday. I hope you guys are finished with your self-care ritual as well. I hope your skin is feeling as soft and as hydrated as mine is, and I really want to know, you guys, did you enjoy this type of video? Would you like to see more of this type in the future? Because I would love to make so many videos like this. I have so many ideas, but I just don't know if you guys really enjoy it. So if you can comment down below and let me know, I would really, really appreciate it. Like I said before, all the products that I've used in today's video will be linked in the description box below. Make sure you check out my skincare brand, Selfless by Hiram, which is available at Target, in-store, and online. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to the notification bell so that you can see my videos every single week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.